Hi, welcome to the Garden of Mind. I am Nikki, creator of the Garden of Mind, host of the Garden of Mind podcast. I am also a blogger on nikkisconfettilife.com. You can find Nikki's Confetti Life and the Garden of Mind. You can find it on Facebook. And today I have my coffee. This is my second cup. I know it's not good for you, some say, but then they'll tell you coffee is good. I rarely have two cups, but this is my second cup for today. It is the middle of the day, and I am recording, so you may hear my wind chimes. It's pretty windy here, and you may just hear, I don't know, cars, airplanes, life. I'm not going to filter any of that out because I don't want to. Anyway, welcome to the Garden of Mind. Everybody is welcome here. We don't take too kindly to weeds. They will be handled and dealt with. But everybody is welcome here for the most part on the Garden of Mind. We like a peaceful garden. Okay? So today, I want to talk about liars and manipulators. Yes, liars and manipulators. And one, how much I've grown when it comes to dealing with people like that, and maybe my experience or what I've learned or something here that I've got will hit. So just so you know, I feel like for the most part I'm more spiritual than I am anything. I am Christian, but I'm more spiritual, and that's a whole nother topic. People get offended by so much these days. And when there's so much other things that we should be offended by, we're not. But um, today I'm going to be talking about the manipulation and liars. And I'm coming from like a biblical perspective, but also my own perspective, my own experience, which is valuable. Your experience in this world is valuable. Your knowledge, your wisdom, however you obtained it, you didn't obtain it just to obtain it. You obtained it to share so that it reach someone, because what I'm giving may not reach that person, but what you're giving may reach that person. So manipulation, let's just jump right into it, is a form of deceit. Got my notes here so I can stay on topic. And dishonesty. Manipulation is a form of deceit and dishonesty, according to Proverbs 26:24 through 26. Manipulation is treacherous also, and God values honesty and integrity. So if you're a manipulator and you're a liar, well, you're not honest and you don't have integrity. It is what it is. People that show you who they are, Maya Angelou said, believe them. Believe them. And there's this other saying that my granny used to say, every dog has its day. And we'll get to that later. I know that seems a little tough and a little harsh, but got to give it to you like it's given to me. People that show you they are a liar, they are manipulative, deceitful, are people that cannot, and I like to emphasize that, cannot be trusted. Mm-mm. You can't believe them. How can you believe a liar? How can you believe a manipulator? How do I know when you're not lying and when you're not manipulating me? I tell you how. You got to have some discernment. We talked about this. Discernment is so vital in our lives as Christians, as spiritual beings. Discernment is vital. Wisdom is vital. And sometimes they say we learn the hard way, or we learn God's way, or we learn that everybody can't be trusted. And we learn the signs of manipulation, unfortunately and fortunately, by being manipulated. And then realizing later, oh, they were playing games, mind games, heart games. games, emotional games. Okay? Manipulation or lying is the opposite of love and respect. How do you say you love me and you lie to me and you manipulate me and others? It's not love. It's not respect. You don't respect a person that you will lie to. You don't respect a person, a human being, another spiritual being when you're manipulating them. And a lot of people love to manipulate things and people to gain something. It's something that they want and they want to gain it. They want access to it. And sometimes it's just about control. I'm getting ahead of myself. If a person lives this way, they are not in right standing with God or the Creator. Look, if 5 days out of 7 days you're lying and you're a manipulator, and then you're building on the lies that you told in the past, last week, last year, or you're living a lie and you're living manipulation as a manipulator, rather, then that is your lifestyle. I preached about that two Sundays ago, about show me some ID and your lifestyle. Some people have a lifestyle of lying. It's what they do. And they do it so well. So well. You've got people that manipulate everything. Any chance they get. And that is their lifestyle. Anything you do constantly, consistently, on a regular basis. I'm not talking about every now and then. Every now and then, we lie. Every now and then, we may manipulate something to our advantage or, to gain something. But I'm talking about those who make a living, make a career, have a lifestyle of constantly lying, of constantly manipulating. To be righteous is to be in right standing with God. It's to be in alignment with God. That's it. Righteousness doesn't mean you so holy and you know all these scriptures and you just got your life together and you don't do this and you don't do that and you don't do this and you don't do that either. Or you used to do this and now you don't do that. That is not what righteousness is. Righteousness is being in right standing, being in your lane, being aligned with the principles of the Creator, of God. So, if you're a liar and a manipulator, how are you in alignment with the things of God? You're not. All right? We're talking about understanding, if you are a liar and manipulator, you are welcome in the garden of mind. And if you are in close proximity or relationship or in what I call a family ship, and you've got liars and manipulators, you need to be able to recognize them. And not just recognize them, know how to deal with them. Okay? And, sometimes people who lie, they get mad when you don't believe them. But you've told so many lies. How can people believe you? You manipulated so much. How do we know you're not trying to use us now? And that's on you. It's not on us. It's on you. Okay? All right. So people lie and manipulate also to control other people and a situation. Control. That's some kind of spirit. That's some kind of shadow that you may need to work on. Blink twice. Blink twice if you understand what I'm saying. It's that control, wanting to control everything and everybody to your advantage. Something is wrong about it. And it's kind of sickening when you think about it. You want everything to go to your way. That's being selfish. You don't want to feel any hurt. You don't want to feel any loss. You don't want to feel any pain. You don't want to feel any harshness. You want to be right all the time. So you manipulate the situation so you can be right. You want power. You want control. That's not being in alignment with God. You need to control yourself. You need to control you, not others. You. So that you can be in alignment with God. So that you can receive the things that you want. And you need to grow up, honestly. Because everything is not going to go your way. Even with your lies and your manipulation, things still don't go your way. And sometimes people who lie and manipulate and they get what they want, it don't last. They think that they've won. It's about winning with them. I'm going to win. Wins are temporary. Losses are temporary. But where you spend eternity is not. It's called eternity. And the lasting effects that you have on people for lying or tearing down their character or saying things about them in dark or in private, and you think no one is listening. Where are you that God is not? I may not hear it, but we know that source hears it. We know that what people call the universe hears it. It goes into the atmosphere. Even a bird will tell you what's going on. That's in the scripture. That's a whole nother thing. I don't want to get too deep. Okay. But there are signs. People will know. People know you lying on them. People know you talking about them. People know they are being manipulated. Okay. 2 Timothy 3:1-5 tells us that these people are self-centered. Liars and manipulators are self-centered. They only care about themselves. They love power. We talked about that. And they lack love for another person. You don't lie on people that you love. You don't manipulate people that you love. You don't make a habit out of it. You don't live a lifestyle of being a liar. Lies hurt. Gossip hurts. Maliciously tearing down other people, it hurts. But it says so much about you while you're trying to say so much about them. It tells us how little you are and how little you think of yourself and how little you think of source, of God, of the creator. How much you disrespect the creator. I was going to say him, but I could have said her. Okay. It's dangerous for those of us that know these liars and manipulators or coming to, we see it. It is dangerous to be involved with people who are liars and manipulators. I'm serious. Your life can literally, and your livelihood can literally be in danger by being around, associated with, in relationship, in friendship with people who are liars and manipulators. Why? Because I just told you, they lack love for you, first of all. They love power. That's what they love. They love control. That's what they love. And they are self-centered. They are lovers of themselves. And they will do anything, even to you. Even to you. I don't care if they're your sister. I don't care if they're your brother. I don't care if they're your husband, wife, whatever. Everybody covered. Your children. They will do anything. And it's dangerous to pretend like you don't know or to know it, to accept it and still be in close proximity, in relationship, in cahoots with them, thinking, I'm going to help them do. They won't do that to me. Not me. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. They will. They only love themselves. And it kind of says something about you too. All right. So, like I said, it's dangerous. They cannot be trusted. There's no telling what they will do. They'll betray you. and they will destroy you. They get all the information from you. They know everything about you, and then they'll take it at the right moment, at the right time, and then they will use it to gain something for them, and they don't care about if it destroys you. Even if it's a truth or a secret that you have told them, they don't care about telling everybody else. They don't care about letting it out. They don't care because they're trying to gain something, fame, fortune. It makes them feel better than you. Power, position, whatever they got to do to get what they want, they're going to do it. That's a liar and a manipulator. I don't care if it's a small thing. I don't care if it's a temporary thing. I don't care if it's a permanent thing. They will do whatever they have to do to get what they want. Recently, I discovered a person wasn't who I thought they were. And to be honest with you, I had an inkling, but then I do what most of us, I don't know. I don't think, maybe it's just me. Maybe I just think that, and I shouldn't be thinking that about that person. But when people do show you who they are, oh, you best believe them. You best believe them right then and there. That is who they are. And when they consistently show you, what other choice do you have? I mean, you can live blindly if you want to and act like you don't. They constantly. And when I tell you that person, it was, I can't say that I was shocked. You know, I've lived long enough where things like this don't shock me. I was just kind of, what do you call it? I don't know. When it's not admiration, it was just like, wow, you know, that's a lie, and that's a lie too. Ooh, they just lying their face off. Can't say the other word. I can, but I won't. Lying their butts off. They just manipulating the Hades out of people. And I'm just standing there like, it's you know, when you think of being in awe, you think of like it's this wonderful feeling like, oh, I was in awe of the sunset today. I was literally in awe of their audacity of lies and manipulation. Okay? But I've lived long enough. I've seen it before. So I handled it differently. And I want to say that's a blessing because I've grown. So how did I handle them? How do you handle people when you come into the knowledge and that they are a liar and they are a manipulator? People say you handle them, you know, with a long handled spoon. That's what the old people used to say. Or that's what they say. You handle them with a long handled spoon. You keep them at a distance. That's wisdom. And then you have knowledge now because you realize that some people are who you thought they were, and sometimes people are who you didn't think they were. It's going to happen in life. It's going to keep happening in life. And you got to know how to deal with it. Now, my first approach is to confront the person. That's what you want to do. I heard you say, and you know you lied about this, and then you tried to play this game with us, and you thought this, and that. You tried to play this game with me and think blah, 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 and you come at them with all of this and all of that. They still going to be a liar, and they still going to be a manipulator. But I do understand that there's a satisfaction that you get in letting them know. And sometimes you just say, I know. Oh, I know what you about. And you leave it at that. I see you. I see the real you, the true you. I know. I'm watching you. Sometimes you do have to let people know. But in this situation, I didn't have to let them know. And that came from wisdom. Because there are times you don't burn a bridge. How can I say it? I'm off topic. I'm on topic. But sometimes you have to let people think they are getting away with stuff and getting over on you. And you say, well, why on earth would I want them to think that? Because sometimes if you give a person enough rope, they'll hang themselves. If you give that person enough room, they'll keep creating so many lies You won't have to do anything. The lie will catch up to the truth. And you'll be like, aha, they got fired today? They were doing what? What? They lost this, that, and the other? How? Because it's called reaping and sowing. It's called karma. It's called you get what you put out there, and sometimes it comes back to you just like you put it out there. Sometimes it comes back to you multiplied. You gained $500, but you end up in the negative $50,000. How? That 500 that you stole got multiplied. And another reason I feel like you don't always have to confront a person and you just put that distance in between you and them and let them go on about their life, because sometimes you have to do business with people. Sometimes you have to do business with a person. And you just let them go on and do what they do and let them think they're getting over on you and all this kind of stuff. But you got a project you got to finish. And I learned that in college. Working with people in group projects, folks that don't show up, people that want things to go their way, people that want to take over and do whatever. Look, we're going to get this A in this group with or without you, with or without your nasty attitude. And we're going to let you know that you're not just going to come in here and take over and run this team. We got a leader. So we respect the leader. And if they are the leader and you're doing most of the work, then, and you need to get that project done, you get that project done. And then you take up what you need to take up with that person, that liar, that manipulator, or that person that was in the group, or the person you had to do business with. You got a choice. I don't want you on anymore. I don't want to be on any more projects with Bill. I don't want you in the group. You're a liar and you're a manipulator. We don't have time for that. Okay? You're welcome to the family. We can't just disown you. We can, but we can't. And we know that you're a liar and we know that you're a manipulator. So don't expect us to trust you. Okay? A well-known thief in the family, and you let them in your house, and then they steal things from you. What did you think was going to happen? Why did you leave them alone? Yeah, I came in here while you went to the bathroom in my room because I know you. And if you want to be upset about that, then be upset about that. But if you don't want other people, you don't want me following you around the house, you got to change your ways. Okay? It is what it is. This is real life we're living here. Okay? But sometimes you don't burn that bridge when you have to go back and forth with that bridge. When you have to go back and forth over a bridge, you don't burn it. But you can lessen the times that you go back and forth with it. Or you can do business and do what you have to do. And after that, you and that person are done. We through. We finished. It's over with. Barack them. Not like, Barack Obama them. But the word Barack means to bless. You bless them. I think I'm saying it right. I'll check it later. But bless them. Send them on their way. Send them good love, vibes, energy. And you're done. It's so peaceful that way. Okay? So, and then another way that you deal with, you can address it. You can address their behavior or not. You can never do business with them or continue to do business with them to get what you need in spite of how they are. Some people you just have to deal with. You work with them. But you don't have to trust them. You don't have to believe them. And if you got to go double check behind them, do so. Cover your behind. Okay? All right. There is no need for me to cross that bridge. If there's no need for me to cross that bridge anymore, I can break that connection. Now, this is really good when you're dealing with a liar and a manipulator and you're in a relationship with them, because the people that you're in relationship with and in friendships with and in family ships with, they do affect your well-being. They can. They can affect your mindset, your emotional um, well-being. Because think about it, you're dealing with a person that's lying all the time. For your phone ringing, did you say this? Did you say no? I didn't say nothing. What? I didn't even say nothing remotely close to that. What are they talking about? Constantly stirring up stuff. Manipulators. Oh, they told me this. Well, they told me this. That's why I gave them this. Why did you give them that? You know they a liar. You know they be manipulating folks and calling you with the sob story, playing the victim when they're supposed to be victorious. And some of them are Christians and saved. I'm just telling you like it is. That's how I handle people like that now or in the past. And being in intimate relationships with a person that's a liar and manipulator is not good for your spirit, not good for your soul. Disconnect. Wish them well. Bless them. I hope you heal. Hope you get your deliverance. I know some churches you can go to. You're more than welcome in my church. If you need deliverance, you need healing. I got some books you can read. And you can it's like a backpack. You just pack them a little backpack, and them a little something, give them a little lunch or something, and put it in there, and you just send them on their way. Sometimes you got to send people on their way, away from you, because they're the distraction. Okay? The enemy has sent some people to you to distract you, to get you in your feelings, to get you emotional. A manipulator will come at you to get a response. And then you give them the response. And then they say, oh, I thought you was Christian. I thought you was spiritual. I thought you were a light worker. And look at you getting upset. They have provoked you. They're good at that. Liars and manipulators are good at provoking. A lot need to be said about provoking people. Because we are people. We are divine. And we are human too. And there's a thing about poking a bear. I know you're not a bear, but you are a human. And some people, there's only so much they can take. We don't ask why they reacting the way they react. We're so engrossed with their behavior, their reaction. We don't say, well, why are they acting like this? Oh, it's because of that person. It's because of this liar. It's because of this bully. It's because of this manipulator. Everybody ain't you. Everybody can't keep their cool. Everybody can't keep their calm. And even calm people go off. Ask me how I know. All right? Thank God for grace and mercy. And I don't abuse it. I do everything I can not to go off. But sometimes I do. And that's real honesty. Okay? Once you do that with a person that you have a relationship with, a friendship with, a family ship with, you just have to disconnect. You're like, you know what? I love you, but we just can't talk anymore. I love you. I see you at the family function, but I just don't fool with you like that. I mean, you don't have to be mean. You don't have to be hateful. You don't have to be resentful. But y'all just, it don't work. Like, we can't be like this anymore. I can't have that in my space. All right? So, pretty much, furthermore, if you're dealing with a manipulator or a liar, or you're consciously dealing with them, why? What business does darkness, and darkness is like the fruits of the flesh, I can put it like that. What business does light have with darkness? What business does someone who's producing the fruit of the spirit have with somebody who's producing the fruit of the flesh? Like, what does light have to do with darkness? What business? I'm not saying you don't be a light in you're not a light in darkness, but what business do you have to do with darkness? Once you find out it's darkness, what kind of business do you have to do with them? None. You be about your father's business. That's the only business you need to be about. Your father's business, your life purpose, your soul mission. Okay? You can't save them. You can pray for them. You can sow seeds to them, but you cannot save a person. You can't change a person. Let me say that too, because some people on here are not Christians, and that's okay. But you can't save a person. You can't change a person. They have to want that for themselves. You can forgive them, bless them, and wish them on their way. It's not only a smart thing to do, it's the safe thing to do. Why? Because I told you in the beginning, they're dangerous. They are dangerous. Now, if they ask you or you feel prompted to tell them why, do so. And be honest. You know you sweet when you want to be, you cool people and everything, but you lie so much. You manipulate people and things to your advantage, and I see that in you and I don't like it. Or this relationship is over. You lie so much. You manipulate so much. You're a huge distraction. Imagine yourself having somebody who is honest and respectful with integrity. That's what God likes. Why wouldn't God want that for you? Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't she want that for you? Okay. And the source of a liar who practices lying, the source of a manipulator, one who practices manipulation. A liar is a person who practices lying. They live a lifestyle of lying. A manipulator is one who lives a lifestyle of manipulating. The source of that is a spirit, and the source of that is Satan. That's what we would say. The source of a liar and the source of a manipulator is Satan. God can't be your source and you're a liar and a manipulator. Your source is coming from somewhere. Okay? The source of that is coming from somewhere. The source of that is darkness. The source of that is shadow. And it's something you need to explore within yourself. Why do I lie so much? Why do I try to manipulate everything and everybody to get my way? Why am I so selfish? Why am I so insecure when I'm supposed to be trusting the Almighty, the omnipotent one? Okay? For others, like I said Satan. It may be called ego. You may call it flesh, darkness, shadow. Liars and manipulators are weak, insecure, and they lack trust in God. I just said that. They need healing and deliverance. They need some shadow work. They say that in the world today. They need some shadow work. They need repentance. That means to change. So that's all repentance is. That means to change. And I ain't going to say it like that's all you got to do is repent. Repent means to change. And change is hard. That's why people don't do it. Change is real work. As I've said before, it is hard work and it is heart work. That's why people won't change. And at the end of the day, that's their journey. It's not your journey. And sometimes you have to remove yourself and remove them from your space, your life. You can keep them in your heart. You can keep them in prayer. But liars and manipulators, they have work to do that you cannot do for them. In fact, you've got work to do on you. You can't do your homework and somebody else's homework. This not that. Where people used to pay me to do their homework or pay me to do their tests and stuff, and I was making money, in school, doing people's tests when we were in high school and junior high school. That's in the physical. In the spiritual realm, you can't do that work. You have to do your work. So, That's about 34 minutes, 35 minutes. I hope that I've said something that can help you, inspire you, give you something to think about. Uh, be blessed. Watch out for those liars and manipulators. And if you are a liar and a manipulator, work on you. The first person you've got to be honest with is yourself. And the first spirit or being that you have to be honest with is Source, is God, is the Creator. Y'all two get together and work on you. There are things available to you that can help you to change. I'm telling you today, you need to change. You need to change your ways. Come on up a little higher in your thinking and in your actions. Explore yourself. Why you feel the way you feel, why you do the things you do. And after you figure it out, because this can't be your authentic self. You were not born to be a liar. You were not born to be a manipulator. No way. Other people have changed. You can change. The garden of mind is always open. It's always something to do in the garden. Always something to weed out. Always something to plant. Always something to grow. Always something to help to heal. Some kind of pestilence is, on one of your plants. You got to figure out what to do about it to get it back healthy. It's always something to do in the garden. It's not just watering the sunshine. It's work. Being a gardener is work.